Hello, I'm Aiko, and I specialize in posting movie reviews. I would like to share a lot of movie reviews, thoughts, and questions. Oh, everyone, please subscribe to the channel. In this review, I will talk about the story without spoilers up to the middle. If you are concerned about the second half, please watch the movie and then listen to my story. This time we will be talking about the Japanese movie, Evil Doesn't Exist. The director is Ryusuke Hamaguchi of Drive My Car. The cast includes Hitoshi Omika in the lead role, Ryo Nishiki is a child actor, other Ruji Kosaka, it's Shibutani Ayaka. Everyone is using anonymous people. I would like to think about what this intention is later. The story goes something like this. The story is set in a town in Nagano Prefecture on a plateau rich in nature. Takumi, who has lived in the area for generations, and his daughter Hana lead a modest life that follows the cycles of nature. One day, they learn that there are plans to turn part of the town into a glamping site run by a Tokyo company. It was planned by an entertainment agency, which had run into financial difficulties due to the coronavirus pandemic, with the help of a subsidy from the government. However, when it is discovered that the sewage treatment at the glamping site will affect the town's water supply, the discussion goes on a parallel path. Unexpected repercussions begin to affect Takumi and his friend's quiet life. This is the story. The movie begins with a somewhat heartwarming scene of Takumi and Hana's family living in a rich natural environment, and their friends around them. Takumi knows everything about nature, and shares various things with the townspeople, such as the names of trees, where spring water comes from, and the corrections of animals. At first, I thought this movie was a modern-day version of Dersu Uzala, directed by Akira Kurosawa. Live with Nature. At first, I thought that this movie would convey that humans are also a part of it. However, this is different, and the major problem that occurs in the movie is the construction of a glamping site. I think a lot of people around here have noticed that the acting of both Takumi and the other townspeople who live in this town is strangely sloppy and amateurish. I think that's probably because director Hamaguchi researched the people who live in the mountains and found that the realism that comes from awkward acting suits him better than good acting. The main character, Omika-san, was actually a film crew member, and her expressions hardly changed and the tone of her speech remained the same, giving off a rustic rural atmosphere. The theme of this movie is what is the evil mentioned in the title? That's what I thought. What I am depicting is what happens in a small town. After watching this movie, I felt that I would have to think about what is evil and who is evil. The music was by Eiko Ishibashi, the same one from Drive My Car. Mr. Ishibashi has been working with world-famous musician Jim O'Rourke for a long time, and Jim O'Rourke's name was mentioned in this performance as well. I also thought that the disturbing atmosphere of the music, which was full of strings, gave the movie a very disturbing feeling. I would like to express this movie in terms of scores. It's 80 points. Now, from here on out, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie yet, please subscribe and like the channel, then close your browser or app. For those of you who have seen this movie, what did you think of it, actually, from the scene at the glamping site? I thought that the movie might change the perspective of the viewer. Do you live in the mountains? If that's the case, then maybe we'll be able to see this movie from the perspective of the townspeople. I live in a slightly larger town, so the way of thinking of the townspeople who live in the mountains seemed to me to be quite closed-minded. I myself felt that the townspeople's attitude of opposition rather than solutions was not welcoming. After that, the story goes on to depict the hardships faced by the two people in charge of the glamping site, but I felt that it was a bit too much of a service to go from there as a movie. He says it would have been better to just look at things from the townspeople's perspective. The two people in charge were also in trouble, so I wondered if they wanted to make it seem like no one was at fault. Also, every single incident was a sign of something to come. Well, it's a collection of foreshadowing, the gunshots, the deer, whether or not the deer would attack people, the wounded deer, Takumi's forgetfulness, the bird's wings, the child walking alone, all of which were reflected in the subsequent scenes. To be honest, with each one of them, I can't help but feel like something is going to happen. Even in the scene where my daughter Hana disappears, I felt like she was going to disappear after all. I was a little concerned about the way the movie summarized that part. Also, the filming method used was quite a long take in one shot. I think it was very effective in seeing the life in that town. It is said that it takes this much time to sow the trees, that it takes so much time to walk through the forest, and that it is so difficult to carry water. My question is about the camera's perspective. At the beginning, the perspective suddenly changed to Wasabi and then to the perspective from the back of the car. After that, I didn't feel like he was looking at the camera like that, but what was that? Is there anyone who knows? Also, the video was beautiful. I thought that the focus was mainly on shooting in such a way that it focused all the way to the back of the image. Even in the discussion scene, you can see the expressions on the faces of the townspeople sitting in the back seat. I thought the colors were very beautiful, but I also thought it had a digital feel to it. Actually, I don't know if it was shot digitally, so I thought it might be a modern version of Dersu Uzala, the same one who told the story at the beginning. At the beginning, I immediately thought it might be different, but since the girl is attacked by a deer, and it's caused by modern human hunting, I thought it might be a modern version of Dersu Uzala after all. That's what I thought. Well, what do you think? This film won the Silver Lion at the Venice Film Festival, which I think is an amazing achievement. Drive My Car was a truly wonderful work, and I have high expectations for director Ryusuke Hamaguchi's future works. On this channel, we are looking for movies that you would like us to review. Please comment or contact us. I will continue to post movie reviews. Please subscribe to the channel. See you in the next work. The show must go on.